Hello everyone and welcome to a new video of Your Polyglot Academy. Today we're continuing our series on how to learn French in 50 days with SML, and today we're continuing with lessons number 15 and 16, so let's go. Now first we're going to start with lesson 15, and as always there's going to be a dialogue. Please make sure to listen to it twice, and if you're ready, let's start. So here's the dialogue.
15e leçon.
Un tour dans Paris. Première partie.
Bonjour mesdames, bonjour mesdemoiselles, bonjour messieurs. Mon nom est Michel Laroche et je suis votre guide ce matin. Nous traversons actuellement la place de la Concorde. Devant vous, vous pouvez voir le Louvre et, à droite, la Tour Eiffel.
S'il vous plaît, madame, où sont...
Un instant, laissez-moi terminer s'il vous plaît.
Mais c'est très important. Je ne peux pas attendre cet après-midi.
Eh bien, qu'est-ce que vous voulez savoir?
Où sont les toilettes?
Did you understand everything, or at least most of it? I hope so. If that's not the case, then here's a translation of the dialogue. So it's a 15th lesson, and the title is A Tour of Paris, and it's the first part because the second one is going to be covered in lesson 16. Good morning, ladies. Good morning, young ladies. Good morning, gentlemen. My name is Michel Laroche, and I'm your guide this morning. We are crossing at present Concorde Square. In front of you, you can see the Louvre, and on the right, the Eiffel Tower. Please, madam, where are... Just a minute, let me finish, please. But it's very important, I can't wait until this afternoon. Well, what do you want to know? Where is the toilet? So that was the translation of the dialogue. Now, as always, there are going to be some remarks on that, so let's dive into it. Now, on the first one, we know that possessive adjectives have singular, plural, masculine, and feminine forms, as we already saw in lesson 7. So, when using a compound word, for example, monsieur, which is made of mon, which means my, and sieur, which means sire, or madame, which is made out of madame, my lady, and mademoiselle, mademoiselle, respectively, my sire, my lady, and my damsel, as mentioned, they follow the usual agreement rule. So we're going to build the plural of the possessive adjective and then the plural of the singular noun. So the plural of monsieur, it can be messieurs, because the plural of mon is mes, M-E-S, and then the plural of sieur is simply going to be sieur, but with an S, etc. So that also is the case for other compound words. Now, a casual way of greeting a mixed set of group of people, often heard in cafes and bistros, is Messieurs, dames, bonjour, which would mean good morning, ladies and gentlemen. However, this phrase should be recognized but not used. Now, on the second remark, a number of French words are identical, or very similar at least to English words, but have different meanings. Actuel, for example, means current, and the adverbial form actuellement means currently, not actually, so you have to pay attention on that. On the third remark, please remember that any verb which follows pouvoir, to be able to, is always in the infinitive. Now, on the fourth remark, you can see that learning the gender of French nouns is vital, especially since some have two genders, each with a different meaning. Here's an example. Le tour, masculine, is a tour, whereas la tour means a tower, so a monument, tower block, etc. Another example is la livre, see lesson 11 note 4, which means a pound, and un livre means a book. So that's a very important difference. Now, only a handful of these dual gender nouns are used in everyday conversation, but they have to be learned. However, we'll look at them in greater detail at the end of the course, so you don't have to worry that much about them. Now, on remark number 5, we have already seen two ways to attract attention when asking a question. Pardon, in lesson number 4, and excusez-moi, in lesson number 5. You can also use s'il vous plaît, which means please, in exactly the same way. So here's an example. S'il vous plaît, où est le métro? Please, can you tell me what the metro is? And finally, on the last remark, some nouns are singular in English but plural in French, or vice versa. A good example is les toilettes, the toilet. However, we'll learn more of these words as we progress, so don't stress too much on that. And if you understood everything of these remarks, then let's continue with the exercises. So this is the first one.
Exercice 1. Traduisez.
Messieurs, Mesdames, bonjour.
Son nom est Michel Laroche et il est votre guide. Je ne peux pas attendre ce soir.
Qu'est-ce que vous voulez savoir?
S'il vous plaît, où sont les toilettes?
And this is the second exercise where you will have to fill in the missing words. And if you have any questions or whatsoever on the topics that were explained, then feel free to leave a comment or to just contact me. And if everything was alright, then let's continue with lesson number 16. So, as always, there's going to be a dialogue and make sure to listen to it twice. And if you're ready, we can start. This is the dialogue for lesson 16.
16e leçon.
Un tour dans Paris. Deuxième partie.
Comparé à d'autres capitales, comme Moscou ou Pékin, Paris n'est pas très grand. Mais la région parisienne, c'est-à-dire la ville et sa banlieue, est grande comme Londres. On l'appelle la ville lumière, avec ses grands monuments et ses longues avenues, ses grandes églises et ses vieilles rues. Regardez là-bas. Ce bâtiment superbe est l'Opéra, construit par le grand architecte Charles Garnier. Derrière, vous avez les grands magasins et, en face, on voit le Café de la Paix. C'est un bon endroit pour une photo et la lumière est bonne aujourd'hui. Vous pouvez faire beaucoup de belles images. Si vous voulez, vous pouvez descendre du bus ici, à côté de l'arrêt.
Now, of course, I hope that you understood most of it. Here's a translation of the dialogue. So it's the 16th lesson, and the title is A Tour of Paris. And this is actually the second part. Compared to some other capitals, like Moscow or Beijing, Paris is not very big. But the Parisian region, that is to say the city and its suburbs, is as big as London. It is called the City of Light, with its great monuments and long avenues, its grand churches and its old streets. Look over there. The superb building is the Opera, built by the great architect Charles Garnier. Behind, you have the major department stores, and opposite, you can see the Café de la Paix. It's a good spot for a photo, and the light is good today. You can take lots of beautiful pictures. If you want, you can get off the bus here next to the stop. So this was the dialogue. Now, there are of course some remarks on that, so we're going to cover them right up. Firstly, on the first one, on is the third person singular impersonal pronoun. It has the same meaning as one in English, but is much less formal. In practical use, it can replace nous, for example, on est en retard, we are late, or the passive voice. Example, on appelle Paris la ville lumière. Paris is called the city of light. And we'll see this quirky pronoun in greater detail later on. However, in this case, I would like to assert that on is indeed a very useful pronoun and can be used in French, also in lots of different situations, not just by replacing nous or the passive voice, but also about telling something, also while making descriptions, etc. So it is very important, and while we're going to cover it in the next lessons, please make sure to pay particular attention to it, because it's really very, very important to express yourself better. Now, on the second remark, the adjective grand, big, can be used to mean great, eminent, etc. Like all adjectives, it agrees in gender and number with its noun. Un grand architecte, a great architect. Une grande ville, a big or great city. Ces grands magasins, its big stores. Ces grandes avenues, its major avenues. Also, the adjective vieille is the irregular form of vieux. It's the irregular feminine form of vieux, which means old. Now, on the third remark, the second person, singular and plural, is used without a pronoun as an imperative. Regardez, look. And the negative form is regular, so you simply have to put ne before the verb and pas after it. Ne traversez pas, don't cross. On the fourth remark, just because an adjective ends in e does not necessarily mean that it's in the feminine form. Adjectives such as superbe, superb, facile, easy, malade, ill, and moderne, modern are both masculine and feminine. And for more, see lesson 21. On the fifth remark, likewise, not all nouns ending in E are feminine. This is particularly true with words relating to professions, such as un architecte, an architect. However, the feminine form can be formed simply by changing the article, une architecte instead of un architecte. This is, however, a recent development in the French language, which we'll also discuss later in the course. And finally, some masculine adjectives ending in a consonant are changed to the feminine by doubling the last letter and adding an E. For example, bon would become bon with a double N and an E, which means good. Ancien would become ancienne with a double N and an E, and it means ancient or old. And to make it plural, simply add an S to either form. See lesson 14 for other cases which we already discussed. And if you do not have any questions or whatsoever, or at least if you understood most of it, then please do the exercises because that is very important for you to internalize the vocabulary. So this is exercise number 1.
Exercice 1. Traduisez. L'église est derrière ce grand bâtiment.
Lutèce est l'ancien nom de Paris.
Le café est en face de l'opéra.
Vous pouvez descendre ici si vous voulez.
Je pense que l'arrêt de bus est là-bas.
And this is exercise number 2 where you'll have to fill in the missing words. And finally, this is the end of the lesson. If you have any questions or whatsoever, just make sure to leave a comment or contact me at any time. And other than that, thanks for listening and I wish you a nice day. See you soon.